Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and this review is for the movie called Unsane. Academy Award winning director Steven Soderbergh plunges audiences into the suspense and drama of a resilient woman's fight to reclaim her freedom, even as she risks her own sanity. Still scarred from the trauma of being terrorized by a stalker, Sawyer Valentini receives treatments at the Highland Creek Behavioral Center. However, shortly after she unwittingly commits herself to the mental institution and is unable to leave, she catches sight of a facility staffer who, she is convinced, is actually her stalker. But is he real or a product of her delusion? This is a 2018 film. It runs an hour and 39 minutes, and it is rated R. And it stars Joshua Leonard, Jay Farrow, Juno Temple, Amy Mullins, and Amy Irving. First things first is this is very much a movie that was pushed sort of hard when it came out, and I saw the preview a bunch of times and didn't really know what to think of it. It seemed like it had a pretty simple storyline. I could kind of tell what was going to happen from the previews, seeing it so many times over and over. So I did not see it in theaters, obviously. I just watched it at home from the library. Uh, I'm glad I saw this because it seemed like deja vu watching it. It's kind of one of those movies that seems like a lot of others. There have been a lot of movies with this feeling in this situation of being in a mental institution and weird things happening. This the way this is handled, I thought wasn't particularly good, but it's a good movie, and the things that are happening and the way that it unfolds is very well done. So I appreciate the director way of doing things. I appreciate the actors not giving too much away too fast. Um, that part of the movie and that way of doing things was good. So before I get into anything, I just want to make it clear that this is a well done movie. I thought it was. The main, we'll call him a villain. There is a split identity guy. He is the stalker. I'm just letting you know he's a stalker. His name's David. His name's George. Yeah, he is quite the character, and he handles himself appropriately until it's time to let you know what's going on, and it comes with a bang. It comes really fast. It really goes kind of hardcore once the stuff starts hitting the fan. So, um, really, it's kind of funny that this is called Unsane because once things start happening and George is able to do whatever he wants and he's able to get around and do things that start getting crazy, it's insane the things that are happening and that he has the access that he does and the stuff he gets away with, that nobody's checking up on him, that nobody sees into him, just nothing. And it's insane that every time the main character says something about him, that nobody checks into it. Nobody, gives her a second thought. It's kind of crazy. So, um, all in all, this movie is about a lady who has an interview with somebody, kind of not an interview, like a session, counseling session, and she admits that she thinks about killing herself. And so they admit her to this place. if this was more of a real movie, they, might listen to her and take her statements about somebody in the room with her, being something that they're not, but all of a sudden, like, this movie just straight goes to, that this lady's insane and they can't believe anything she would ever say, and they're giving her shots and all this stuff. I think it goes a little bit extreme, a little too fast, and it's not realistic. It doesn't, have any kind of grounding as it goes. I mean, this movie only takes place within a week supposedly, and you'd figure if the main character is kind of keeping her cool, that the couple of the elements of the movie could be a little bit more founded and stable and make more sense. There comes a time when uh, David brings the main character some food, and the conversation that goes there is just so weird. Like the things that they have her say that she wants David to do, and it ends up having a point. It ends up mattering, but it's just so weird. It's just so awkward, and it turns the rest of the movie into being very anticlimactic. And I just was very awkward with the whole situation. I just was watching and wondering why they were going that direction. And it ends up being an ending, but it ends up being a very stupid ending. And they had a lot of potential for this movie. Along the way, you're in suspense, you're wondering what's going on, and then they just kind of like bail out and say, oh, let's come up with the stupidest ending we can come up with. So I didn't appreciate that. I would have appreciated a little bit more guts to actually turn this into something. I mean, you had David at a point where he was ready to turn into something that nobody would have expected, and you kind of tapped the surface of maybe going there, but then you just kind of bail. And so I think this movie was enjoyable and everything, but then the ending just ruins it, and I'm very sorry for that. So I'm gonna have to give Unsane a C minus, and it's not the worst movie I've ever seen because it was enjoyable most of the time. But when you have an ending like this one, it just ruins everything, and it just does. I got to be fair and honest and say that. So, C minus for Unsane. My name is Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would, and enjoy your movies. You can give this one a shot. Thanks.